good evening, everybody. Michael Soothing here. Long time no chat. I told you I'd be gone a few months, but because I'm up in Oregon, at my place there, I actually have a chance to make a video. So what I did was, I went up to the coast today and did some agate hunting. We had these giant storms that have made for some pretty good rock hounding. You know, I've told you I'm really into geology and all that kind of thing. So I thought I would do a video tonight on that. It's dripping all over me, but I have all of these in this colander. But I'm not going to try to go through all of them with you. Instead, I have a selected few that I put into a pot of water, because when these aren't polished yet, see, once they get polished, I put them through a tumble polish process later after I sort through them, and they end up looking really nice, like this piece of carnelian here, right? So a piece of carnelian agate is what that is, right? So if I put it up to the camera, you'd see it's got a nice shine to it. That's the tumble polish process I put them through. Here's another real nice banded agate, okay? And you can see it's got a really nice polish. But before they get polished, in raw form, you need to get them wet in order to see what they're going to look like polished. So I thought I would have a little agate conversation with you. Now, you can't see the natural colors of these in these weird artificial lights that they give us these days, which are not like the old incandescent lights that had a more natural spectrum, closer to sunlight. Nonetheless, I'm going to do my best with my proper tools, little flashlights. I have 3 different kinds because some of them are too bright for the camera. So depending on the thickness of the agate, you have to have the right tools. So I have those tools. This is an important tool also. Keeping hydrated. Here's another important tool for geology. Pringles, okay? Very important for proper geological explorations, agate hunting on the beaches. Okay, so I want to show you something impressive. One of my kids gave me this. This is a very large agate that has been made into a bookend. So it gives you an idea of what a semi-precious. I don't know whether this color is going to come through. It's a real nice green, like malachite, but you can't, you can't really see it in this kind of light. Let me see if a different flashlight, maybe if this will light up. Nope, that's too shiny anyway. Yeah, not going to be able to show you the natural. Maybe if I get it right up to you. No, even then, not quite. Well, you can see in the corner. But in proper light, in daylight, this is very green. And, it's one type of agate. So, let's take a look at what I've got in my pan of water. And then I'll be able to talk to you a little bit about agates and their origin and what they are and all of that kind of thing. Let's take a peek here if we can get adjusted. Down here to where these are, and I talk to you. Whoops, sorry about that loud bang. Didn't mean to do that. I hope not to be too loud while I'm doing this. The water helps mute the sound a little bit. If I had like a bowl that was paper, that would make it easier. These could be soothing if you rustle them very, very gently in the water, I think. But if you do it, if you get too rough with them, you know, then it can be a little loud. So get my paper towel. All right, let's take a look at a few of these. I'll tell you what we've got here. I don't just have agates. I have jaspers also. And this is an example of a brachiated jasper right here. And a brachiated jasper is just a jasper that is mixed with quartz, something like that, you know. I have other examples here. I like the really red, very red color ones. Let's see if that will show up. Yeah, in sunlight, this is a bright, vivid red. But in this light, it just looks kind of like a dull, brownish red. Jaspers are, it's basically a form of crystalline microquartz is what they would say, and it's opaque typically. Here's one. Here's a jasper that, you know, is a mixture of dark and red. I like ones that have a little bit of feature to them, I think. Let's take a look. Maybe this will light it up better. Yeah, it kind of washes it out, doesn't it? Well, let's take a look at all of these while we're at. Maybe if I move the light back, way up here, I can get a little better idea of the different colors. So there's several jaspers here, as you can see. And let me tell you a little bit about jasper, just for your edification, in case you want to be bored for a few moments. Jasper is an aggregate microquartz silica infused stone, and it forms over long periods of time. It's also known as chalcedony or chalcedony, but it's spelled, if you pronounced it phonetically, it would be like chalcedony, because it's C-H-A-L-C-E, but the H is silent, so it's like chalcedony or chalcedony. And there's a such thing as picture jasper, which I don't have one here, I don't think, but some jaspers have so many bright patterns, and they come in a wide variety of colors. I find green jasper, red jasper, which is the most common, yellow jasper. On the Oregon coast, I don't find all the bright, vivid colors that I have found down at my special spot in California. But I still find some up here. What I do find up here more of, though, is the agates. And by the way, on the jaspers, it was one of the favorite gems of the ancient world. You know, going back to maybe 1000 BC to 4000 BC. They liked to make things out of them. And this looks, here we have something a little different. I'm going to show you this. This here, 3 different flashlights here. This here is a piece of petrified wood. So petrified wood is kind of like a jasper, but basically layers of micro layers of silica impregnated with minerals have replaced the wood over time, but continued to maintain the grain of the wood. That's what petrified wood really is. It's not that the wood changed, it's that it got replaced, okay? So, moving on to talk about maybe our agates now. I'm going to show you my prize find first. This is known as a blue agate, and you won't really see the blue, and these are the ones that are the most prized on the Oregon coast. You don't see the blue color unless you're in sunlight. Yeah, I think I would need to use my other flashlight anyways. But yeah, that helps show you the color a little bit more realistically. But you see how it's all banded and everything. And those are the kind of agates that people like to find. It even has a little opening in it. Sometimes these have water in them, and it's called an anhydro agate in that case. So that's one of my favorites. Now if I pull some of the larger agates, like this, they all have a different color scheme. As you can see, this has a nice yellow hue to it. What else do we have in here? Well, that's a different type of jasper, like a butterscotch color jasper. Let's see what else we got in here. These larger ones, I'm going to light with the brighter light so you can see the colors. See, that's sort of a yellow, white to yellow. It shifts the color scheme on this one. And, you know, here's a real pretty one there. When you backlight them, then you get to see their internal colors. This one's more of a clear one, of course. What do we got here? That's a type of almost carnelian. It's a vivid orangish yellow. What do we got here? This one is, yeah, it's another brecciated jasper. So that's sort of, it shows better in indirect light what the color scheme is. What's that doing in there? Yeah, see, you can't really see. If I hold it up close, you can kind of see the colors better, even in this lighting. Come on, focus, focus, focus. Hello, hello, focus. Camera, I'm right up close to you now. Don't focus on the pan. There we go. I just had to coax it a little bit into focusing. Sometimes you have to talk to your camera, you know, to get it to do what you want. Okay, here's like sort of a nice greenish yellow agate. I should talk to you a little bit about these agates and their origin, what they're all about. Here, see that? Beautiful color on that one. And out in the sunlight, of course, they're even more beautiful. Now, agates are a little bit similar to jaspers in the way they're formed, but they're also a little bit different. It's a cryptocrystalline silica impregnated with various minerals that give them their colors. And usually their origin is volcanic, but the rock itself, the semi-precious gem itself, is not volcanic. What happens is, when lava flows, it leaves pockets and holes and things in it. The lava does. And over time, tens of thousands of years, or even millions of years, those holes get filled very slowly with silica that's in solution in water and stuff like that. And it's impregnated with minerals, and that will form into layers and make an agate. Or it can make a smooth one. If it doesn't make an entire one, you can have an agate that's hollow inside, in which case you have some crystals in there sometimes. That's how amethyst geodes are formed, basically. And here's a little geode that I just got. Somebody gave me this for my birthday, one of my kids, because they know I'm so into rock hounding, and see there's agate around the outside, but inside you have these druzy crystals. Now if you had a big version of this and it was purple, it would be amethyst, which is one form of sort of one of the most advanced semi-precious stones that's similar to agate. So, to give you the history, the name agate came from a Greek philosopher who was also a naturalist. And his name was Theophrastus, if I'm saying that right, which I'm probably not. Theophrastus, which must mean God something, since Theo is the Greek word for it. So I don't know what Phrastu. I'm going to have to look that up now. Now I'm curious. Anyway, he originally came across agates like this on the river Agates around the 4th, 3rd century BC, something like that. And it's commonly believed that he's the one who originally named these after that river. And these were made, they were very important as Bronze Age carvings, sort of like what you see with jade, in the Chinese cultures and dynasties going back BC, 3000 BC. And basically these form in volcanic rocks, but they themselves are not volcanic rock. Let's see what a smaller one looks like. See if we can get some of the color. Well, that's pretty similar to what we saw in the bigger one. Here's a nice little piece of jasper there. Yeah, you just can't see the colors on this in this lighting. And pardon me if I keep repeating myself. And here's a nice piece of like carnelian agate. And did I show you the yeah, I think I showed you the carnelian already. That was already polished, a nice big one. That's got some nice colors to it. And this one already went through the tumble polish process. So let me get that light down here. Let's bring the, oh, I'm sorry about that bang. That's not soothing, bang like that. Let's bring the brighter light up on it. See if we can get this to focus up close. Hey, it's doing it this time, amazing. So this is one of my favorite types of agate, is carnelian agate. And you find these on the Oregon coast fairly frequently. So what else can I tell you? There's a lot of varieties. There are the prized ones in Oregon are known as blue agates. They don't really look very blue. They're sort of a light grayish blue, typically, but they're rare. Someone found a great big one, like 4-pounder, a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, on one of the beaches. And they say that one is worth something like $20,000-$25,000 because it's so big. And even though these are semi-precious stones rather than precious stones, see, this is just a real clear specimen. What else we got in here? Take a look at this one again. And see if we can show it. How about this one? I like to find the ones that have some features to them and aren't just plain. Let's see if I've got one like that. I have to bring out my bright light though. We'll put this away and bring out the big guns. This one has some features in it, and it has sort of a greenish yellow tint, which I like myself. I really like that color. I don't know about you. So, I'm easily amused by various different colors. Why did I put my carnelian back in there? That's not supposed to go in there. All right, so anyway, you get the idea. And I find it soothing to sort through these agates, pick out the ones I like the best for polishing, sort them into categories, and then all the rejects, I really only polish about maybe 20% of what I pick up on beach, and the rest will become decorative yard rocks or something like that. So I'm going to go back to looking at you all because I feel a little bit self-conscious doing it this way, so let's come back up. And I have to be able to see you, like on Romper Room. I want to show you another piece I just got for birthday. One of my daughters gave me that. Isn't that nice? That would be a jasper there, a green jasper egg. So it's almost Easter. You could almost call it an Easter egg if you were so bold. So let me show you an example of what these agates look like after they, and jaspers, after they go through the polish process. This, for example, I got at Shell Creek, but it's actually a piece of volcanic glass, believe it or not. That's what this is. Does it have any? No, you can't. It's opaque. Here I have a piece that's very interesting. It's like a zebra. So that's kind of interesting. That's a really nice piece of jasper right there. And on the California coast, I have found yellow jaspers like this. It doesn't look so yellow here, but it is. There we go. Focused. Here's one that's got a little bit, this is what's called brachiated, which means it's impregnated with other minerals. And you see how nicely these take a polish? The polishing process, by the way, takes about 5 weeks. Maybe I should describe it to you. Here's a real dark color jasper. It's sort of a dark olive green. Let me see if I can light it up and get any color out of it. I don't know if you can really see. Yeah, you're not quite going to be able to see that. We have to be out in the sun for that one. And let's see, we got one here. Here's one that's partly opaque and partly, and partly not opaque. So it's got quartz impregnation. And what else we got here? Well, that gives you an idea. Here's one that's red and yellow. A red and yellow one. Jasper. Almost picture jasper, that kind. I have found some that you would call picture jasper. Well, let me describe the polishing process to you. I'm going to eat a Pringle because I told you it was an important tool for doing this kind of work. So let me just eat one of these while I'm telling you. That is a nice golden color, doesn't it? Maybe a better color than my jaspers and agates. Cheddar cheese. Yummy. I hope this isn't offensive, that I'm, eating a Pringle while I talk to you. This is one that's not polished yet, see? But you can see it's got some nice color to it. See how easily amused I am? Here's another unpolished specimen. Hey, that's really pretty. It's got a variety of internal colors. So now these are the ones I found today. How about this one? It's going to be too bright because it's not thick enough to block a lot of that light. How about this one? Almost opaque, but not quite. Now, where was I? I was going to describe to you the process. I'm too busy playing with these, and I need to get on with it, All right, enough of that. It's not so easy to polish these. What you do is you put them into a tumbler, and you put some heavy-duty coarse grit in there initially, and that will grind down the outer surface, take out imperfections, and fissures and cracks and things like that in your recent agate finds. If it's really rough stone, then you need a really coarse grit. For example, well, I'm not going to try to show you that right now. I had some pieces that I don't know where they went, like this one. Let's take a look at this one. This piece of brecciated jasper, for example. See how that's a really rough stone, not rounded out by the ocean yet, like some of the others. A lot of the others, you notice, are very smooth and round and oblong, and that's because they've been rolling around in the ocean for years and years and years, being ground down by the sand into a nice shape. But this one has come down a river and has only fallen into the ocean recently and been washed up on the beach. So with that kind of rough stuff, I would do tumbling in rough, coarse grit for about a week. If my stones are all smoother and more rounded, then I can use fine grit. Then after the fine grit, I'll do about a week of the ultrafine grit. And after the ultrafine grit, I'll do about a week of the pre-polish, which is very, very small grit. And then after that, about a week of the polish. And different people use different kinds of polish. I use an aluminum oxide. Forms a beautiful glassy. There are things that are lots more expensive you can use, but I find it has a nice, permanent, beautiful shine to it. It's not toxic. It doesn't come off on your fingers and get into your bloodstream or anything like that. Here's a nice banded agate. I showed you this before, but that's the kind of thing I like to find. This is like a jasp agate. It has both agate and jasper. So it would be called a jasp agate. And I really like that one. That one I polished over a period of 3 or 4 weeks. So that's what's involved now. You may say to me, Mikey, that's all very good and fine that you're into these stones and you hunt them on the beach and you polish them. But what in the Sam Hill do you do with them afterwards, okay? Lots of rockhounds get this question. And here's how we answer it every time. I have no idea what to do with them. Okay, all right, so, well, it's not that bad. There actually are some good uses for the final product. I showed you in an earlier video, for example, sometimes I have a nice oval disc that's so pretty I can turn it into a piece of jewelry doing wire wrap. I've done that with some colorful agates. I've done it with a moss agate that's got a really beautiful green color and translucent color and some gold wire, because I learned how to do that. But other purposes and uses, I give them away. You know, kids love these because they're very interesting, all the different colors. And so I'll take a variety and put them in a little jar or something and give them to a child as a treasure. You know how kids have treasures that they like to get out and look at. They line them up and stuff. I gave some to a kid who became immediately fascinated and interested in geology. And so I'd done that. I keep them around in jars. Some of my favorites. It's kind of a form of hoarding, but without filling your house up with junk, you know. You know how people collect things, you know. Some women collect dolls, or they collect, you know, hundreds of pairs of lingerie or shoes, or like Imelda Marcos, right? Or they, you know, people collect all kinds of stuff, right? Sometimes guys collect, you know, Hot Wheel cars that remind of them when they were when they was. What's wrong with me? When they were young, okay, it's a nostalgic thing, right? I collect a couple of things. I collect coins, as you know. But in this case, I like to collect these rocks. So someday I'm going to have a display case for some of my favorite large specimens where I'll have them backlighted. That's one of those, when you say something like that, that's one of those deals where when you say, someday I am going to, that means it will never happen probably. But, don't tell anyone I said. Okay, so what else can you do with these? Okay, here's something I actually will do with them. When I get moved into a more permanent place, I'm staying with some good friends at the moment while my California house gets renovated. That's why I can't make many videos right now. But I'm up at my Oregon house where I'm going to move after my California house is renovated and sold. When I get more permanently established, I'm going to get a nice big aquarium, and I'm going to cover the bottom of that aquarium in some of these agates and jaspers that I have found at the ocean. I don't think I'll do it with polished ones because when they're in the water, they don't really need to be polished. But I'll do my research and see. I want to make sure the aluminum oxide can't leach off and harm whatever fish I'm going to get. So I'll check on that first, I promise, to make sure I bring no harm to any species of fish. Now, what else was I going to tell you? I think what I was going to tell you is it's time for a sip of coffee. I got really tired out in the sun today, and the cold wind blowing down at the ocean and the salt spray getting in my eyes and freezing my ears off. You thought I was going to say my ass. No, freezing my ears off. Look at the size of that cup. It's huge. It is a winter cup, isn't it? But we're almost into, see, I can't even fit the whole thing in the frame, but we're almost into spring. So we had some fantastic deluge rains in California that broke our 5-year drought. So we're going to have a wildflower bloom extraordinaire. It's already beginning, and the reason I know it's beginning is because there are 8 trillion pieces of pollen in every square foot of air down there, giving me allergies like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so anyway, I've been rambling on for quite a while. I think I'm going to stop now and try to edit and upload this in the next day or two. And meanwhile, I gotta show you that again, okay? Gifts that I got some nice. One daughter made me a nice little piece of art, and my son gave me a nice card for Amazon.com, which I get on there all the time and buy stuff. Probably too much stuff, right? I just found out I can watch movies on there in high def. It's kind of cool. Watch those on my computer. I'm finally coming into I'm coming out of the Jurassic age and getting look at this beautiful one here. This is an unpolished, but I'm going to polish it because I like this color scheme. Put them in my save pile. This one too. Okay. One more sip of water and then I'll say goodnight. All right, everyone. You know my words of advice. I hope this was soothing to you, but I'm just going to say, don't ASMR and drive, because if you have tingles or if you have relaxation or if you're getting sleepy or if you have endorphins from ASMR videos, then it's time to just mellow out and go to sleep and visit the Sandman, like I'm going to do in a little bit. How am I going to do that if I keep sipping coffee? I don't know, but we'll give it a shot. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. By the way, do you like my... Wait, let me back this up. Whoops. Do you like my tropical fish shirt? So that's because I'm going to do an aquarium. And so I was getting in the mood for... Should I do a saltwater? I think I'll do a saltwater. They're very vivid, the colors in the saltwater fish. All right, so anyway, you all take care now, and we'll see you next time. It'll be a while, but when I'm truly retired, I'm going to make a lot more videos, and so don't leave me yet, okay? Don't abandon me just yet, okay? Take care, everybody.